Can the Equal Rights Amendment, or ERA, be ratified decades, if not centuries later, like the 27th Amendment? I'm Robin Kinderman, and you're watching JBS Street Talk. For those unfamiliar with the amendments to the Constitution, the last one, the 27th, deals with changes to congressional pay. It was actually one of the first amendments drafted at the Philadelphia Convention in hopes of being ratified in 1789. The 27th is interesting when you consider it took just over 200 years to be ratified. This amendment was allowed to be ratified in 1992 since there wasn't an expiration date. Now, compare that to the Equal Rights Amendment. The ERA was first passed by Congress and submitted to the states for ratification in 1972. However, this one had an expiration date of March 22, 1979. The ERA reads, "Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. The Congress shall have the power to enforce, by appropriate legislation, the provisions of this article." As good as that sounds, individuals like Phyllis Schlafly, the founder of Eagle Forum, as well as the John Birch Society, have stood firm in their position that any legislation or proposed constitutional amendment, such as the ERA, would expand the power of the federal government. As the deadline for its ratification approached, only 35 of the 38 states required had ratified the ERA. However, of those 35, 4 of them, Nebraska, Tennessee, Idaho, and Kentucky, also passed resolutions rescinding their previous ratifications, bringing the total number of states with live ratifications to 31 rather than 35. So, in hopes of gaining all 38, Congress was persuaded to extend the deadline. The second deadline was set for June 30th, 1982. Even with a second deadline, no additional state legislatures ratified the ERA, thus killing it. But then, in 2017, the Nevada legislature went ahead and ratified the ERA. Illinois did the same in 2018. Just this past week, Carol Jenkins, the CEO and co-president of the ERA Coalition, wrote on NBCNews.com, "On November 5th, 2019, the state of Virginia elected enough Democrats to take control of the Senate and the House of Delegates for the first time in more than 20 years. That made it almost certain that the state will become the 38th and final state needed to ratify the ERA in 2020. Jenkins and the ERA Coalition reject the validity of the 4 rescissions prior to 1979. In her article, Jenkins wrote, "Our legal scholars believe the rescissions will not be honored." Hold up. If rescissions are not honored, and the states can't change their mind on a decision, imagine the ramifications. If those rescissions don't count, then what about the states that have rescinded past applications for an Article 5 convention? Will those be invalidated too, ignoring the will of the people in those states? For this reason, we encourage every American to understand and demand adherence to the Constitution. We have several books and videos on the Constitution for you to educate yourself and others. All links for these are in the description. We also ask you to contact your state legislatures and continue urging them to rescind past applications to Congress for a convention, as well as past ratifications of the ERA in the states where applicable. And in the states that haven't already done so, we urge you to contact your legislatures to oppose any new convention applications or ERA ratifications from passing. Rescissions can only be ignored if we don't hold our elected officials accountable. Until next time, take care and God bless.